Hey everybody, welcome back. So just a quick video today to show off our finished spice rack, and we'll talk about the good and the bad. Let's talk about the bad first, since the bad is pretty obvious. Someone ran out of filament. I would have sworn there was enough brown filament on that roll to complete this project. There was not. So I did a quickie filament change over to the bronze and I finished it out. Obviously, if I was making this for somebody else, I would be remaking it. For me, the color change itself is not that big of a deal. It annoys me more than anything else because I should have known better. But I'm trying to use up a bunch of half-used rolls of filament, and apparently I tried a little too hard. Anyway, that's the one bad. The second bad is right near the top. Our printer left out a line for reasons which I do not know because I wasn't watching when it happened. Again, if this was mine, I'd probably super glue that down and just pull it off and say the heck with it. So let's talk about the good. There is one more bad, and we're going to go into that in a little more detail, but let's talk about the good. The good is the lettering came out really, really nice. I have been down the road with lettering on these taller objects before, and I have gotten horrible ghosting and ringing in the letters across. Kind of looks like the letter is being repeated like an echo off to one side or the other. How I cured that was twofold. Well, actually three, but how I mainly cured it was two things. Tightening up the bed to the point where the bed didn't rock and there was no bed movement at all. You don't want to go too tight because you'll wear out your rollers and your bearings, but you don't want any slop because the higher you get up off the print bed, slop is going to be magnified. Secondly, and I think probably as important as the bed, is I cut the acceleration from 5 or 600 down to 300 and the jerk from 50 down to 20. That made a big difference. It also made a big difference in a couple of other things as well. Sorry about that. Somebody popped in and liked something I just said on in my comment section. But I think the acceleration, the jerk, made as big a difference as the bed adjustment. They both made big differences. So now I'm getting almost no ringing and ghosting to one side of the letters and the other, even up this high off the print bed. So, also, I cured a couple other things with those settings as well. I cured layer shifting on smaller objects, and also the printer sounds way better. It sounds a lot smoother. And anytime a piece of machinery sounds smoother, it's running smoother and it will probably last longer and you'll have less replacements down the road. At least we can hope. This, I don't have an answer to that. It doesn't do that normally, so I think that was just a fluke. But like I say, if I was printing this for somebody else, I'd be redoing it. Let's talk about some more good. I like my design. My spice bottles fit in really nicely. There is more than enough space to get them in and out easily. My spacing is really good. I'm happy about that. Also, my bevel under here, which I made 65 degrees, printed extremely well. I'm sorry, I made it 60. Printed extremely well. It's every bit as smooth as the back wall and the sides and the front. So I'm very happy about that. All right. So I like my design. I have a winner as far as the design goes. But what else is wrong? There's one glaring thing that's wrong, and it was a screw up on my part, and here it is. I screwed the size of the upper holes up. The bottles will fit in, but you got to push them, and then you got to hold the thing and wiggle them to get it out. So that's no bueno. That will not fly. So what did I do wrong? How did I do that? And you know what? How did I miss it? Let's pop over to the screen for a second, and let me show you what I think happened. Let me look at that real quick, and I'll reply to that momentarily. And so let me first show you in Cura. How did I not notice that? Look at the difference in the hole spacing, top and bottom. How the heck did I not notice that that was that far off? But whatever, I didn't, and there it is. It's going to go out in our pile of failed prints, which will go into the recycle bin, which I hope they can recycle and not just throw away, but you know, who knows. It's basically sugar cane. It'll break down and go away if it goes out into a landfill. So let's go into Fusion and let's look at our model. Let's look at those holes. Let's go back to that sketch. That's going to be this sketch here. Let's edit it and let's look. Look at the size of that hole. That hole is supposed to be 48. And it is, oops, it is 48 and a whole bunch of letters. 45.8104388. How did that happen? Well, it could have happened one of two ways. I could have drugged the hole out and not ever properly typed the dimension in, but also I could have typed the dimension in 48 and then I could have slightly rolled the mouse wheel while my pointer was on it. It's not doing it now, but I have accidentally rolled the mouse wheel on dimensions and had it change. So let's make it 48. Let's stop the sketch. And now our hole spacing is correct. So at some point in time, I am going to print another one of these, but my kitchen is still all torn up, so it is not an imperative. So let me switch back to the webcam. So it's not an imperative that I make one immediately, but I will at some point be ordering another roll of either the brown that you see, that's this part of it, or a wood color, a lighter wood color. I'm not really sure we've made up our mind what color our new kitchen is going to be, so I may hold off for that. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with the design, with the exception of screwing up my holes in the filament. So what's next? I have a couple other things planned. My wife suggested a K-cup holder, and I think that might be a good thing for both of us. We have these little things our coffee machines sit on. It has a slide-out drawer for K-cups. I usually have so much junk piled in front of it you can't get the drawer open, so I wind up just using the K-cups out of the box. So I'm thinking of something that might sit up on the desk and be a little easier to load than the drawer thing is, or at least a little easier for me. The next thing, somebody asked me about what soldering iron was in one of my older videos and which one I use, and that is this one, the TS100. You can get them from Amazon. All the Chinese retailers have them. They're 50 to 80 bucks depending on who you buy it from and depending on whether it comes with a power supply. As you can see, the box it comes in order to get it back in, you have to remove the tip. So I got sick and tired of taking the tip off every time, so I just punched a hole in the end of the box so I could put it in without the tip. Also, it requires an 18-volt power supply, which obviously doesn't fit in this, and I usually have to go hunting for it. So one of my next videos, we're going to make a box for this that holds it all. And one of my subscribers, Paul, suggested I work in parameters and expressions, and we might do that in that. We can do it in a very simple way. Most of my tutorial designs so far have been so simple that I didn't really feel it was necessary. It's just when you've only got 15 to 20 steps in your history, it's pretty easy to go back and find the one you want to change like we just did. But we'll work that in as a tool that we can use later on in more complex things. Also in the box, I think what we're going to do is also work on the difference between bodies and components, because that's a big one, and we're going to do a simple joint. When we do a joint, that also gives us the ability to do a motion study where we can have a little animation of it coming apart and going back together, which I think is really cool. So that's what we're going to do in the future. So hang around for that if you think you'll enjoy it. And if I have helped you out or you like my videos, please like and subscribe. I have some affiliate links down below for GearBest. If you're looking for anything from there, please consider using them. They don't cost you any more and they do help me out. That's it for this time. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.